last year, I thought I built the perfect bag. And results would say that it was pretty close. Except I was chasing something that's impossible to reach. I was chasing perfection, which we all know is impossible. Instead of chasing growth, chasing a better understanding of my discs, just a better understanding of my game in general. And so this year, as I get ready to present my 2026 in the bag to you, I decided to reflect a little bit on how my game was and what my game was like and the things that suit my game well in order to best prepare myself for this upcoming season. We decided to take a little walk down the fairway with our 2025 bag and see what stays, see what's leaving. Thank you for tuning in to See Our Disc Golf. Welcome to my 2026 in the bag.
In 2025, I spent a lot of time trying to perfect my bag. Trying to get it as close to perfect as possible. I wanted every shot, I wanted every stability, I wanted to make sure that I had the best, most perfect bag possible to be successful. And while possibly I got there a couple of times or got close, or what might say it based off of the results of some of my tournaments this past year, perfection is impossible. Chasing perfection, chasing that quote-unquote perfect bag isn't something that is seemingly possible. I don't think it was intentional. I don't think I was doing it to be full of myself or saying I had the best mind for disc golf. I think what ended up happening is I just got caught in this state of everything has to be perfect. And once I let go of that, that's when things started to get better. That's when the tournament results changed. And we're going to talk about that in a later video reflecting on 2025. But for now, today, we're going to look at my beginning of the year bag for 2026. Plus, I got a couple of announcements at the end of this video. Starting with my putters, my pixels. Same pixels I used all of last year. Same ones I'm keeping in the bag for the beginning of this year. Am I going to change them? Possibly. Am I not? Possibly. I really like how seasoned they are. I like a seasoned putting putter. I just like the feel of them. They got good memory to them. So it's just one of those things where I'm like, I'm not sure if I'm going to get rid of it right now. Moving into my throwing putters, I carry 3 of them. I'm going to carry the PX3, P3X, not PX3, P3X, Discmania. I can read, I promise. I'm going to carry the P3X as my overstable throwing putter. This one's not super overstable, it's more straight with a slight bit of finish at the end. And so I have a second one it's a C-line one of these that I'm going to test out a little bit this year, just to kind of see if I like it. It's a little bit domier than I was kind of hoping for, that C-line one is. Plus, the S-line one has a bead, and the C-line one doesn't. Not really sure what happened there. Not sure if it's like a misprint, like wasn't actually a P3X, but it was like a P2, and it's just misprinted. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. But for now, sticking with the S-Line P3X. My bread and butter, my confidence discs, the disc that I throw whenever I can, the Luna. This is the ESP Swirl Tour Series Luna from a few years ago. This thing is dead straight. I can throw it on turnovers, I can throw it on hyzers, I can hyzer flip it. This is my pretty much workhorse throwing putter. I throw out more than any other one of these throwing putters. Then my understable one is still that Keystone. A zero medium Keystone with that a special edition, what is it, EK64 run where it has the splatter. I don't know, looked cool, thought it was cool. Still in my bag for now. A couple of putters that I'm trying to work into my bag is I have a baseline Luna that I would kind of like to work into the understable spot. I just don't throw it that often. When I did throw it, it just was inconsistently understable. Or maybe I should put it was inconsistently more overstable than I anticipated. Something else that I'm kind of working on is the roach. I have a couple of roaches that I may try to beat into that understable throwing putter slot. I have found the roach to be a great feeling throwing putter. Not a great putting putter for me, but a great feeling throwing putter. And so I'm working on it as well. These may make a trip to the bag, they may not. The big thing about my bag this year is it's going to be pretty fluid. As I work on things, as I try to get a few more things, managed, a little bit less, it has to be this way. So, moving on to my approach discs, I bagged 3 of them, all zones. If you watched last year, I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure I talked about bagging the Zone OS, which I still have. And honestly, I throw it pretty well. Especially, I'm gonna roll the tape. I'm gonna roll the tape on these 3, the Zone OS and these 2 guys. Alright, but for now, the Zone OS is hitting the sidelines. It is, I don't know, I wasn't using it. I wasn't relying on it. So this was the Crystal Flex one. I literally had just gotten this not that long ago. Put it right in my bag. Great forehand chop over disc, but just not for me right now. What I do have in the bag right now is a Crystal What I do have in the bag right now is a Crystal Flex Ledgestone Edition zone, a Crystal Flex Get Freaky zone, I don't think it's the first, one of the earlier runs, and then a Jawbreaker zone. Pretty much overstable, very, very overstable, just what I wanted. Straight with some finish, and then this really doesn't fly like a zone, but I like it because it has a lot of torque resistance. And so that's why it gets a spot in the bag. Moving on to my mids. My mids are downsized a little bit this year. I cut them down to 3 mids. And I'll talk about that here in a second. But the first one is I'm back to the Origin as my understable mid-range. I had a buzz in this slot last year. And again, it was just consistently more stable than understable, which was probably more my fault than anything else, but we're back with the Origin. So this is an Origin I dyed with the Bigfoot and an alien and just all the fun things. My green buzz, it's staying in the bag. This is my workhorse. This is the disc that I grab pretty much all the time. If I need a straight shot, need to hit a gap, just need to get off the tee because I've been struggling and just need to find myself a par, this is the disc I'm grabbing, without a doubt. Another newer disc to me and to just in general is the Glacier. I started bagging the Glacier towards the end of last year, and I really like how honestly it goes really far for a mid-range, but it also has just enough overstability that it fits in a different slot than my Buzz does. I don't really carry like a super overstable mid. I don't feel the need for that. If I need that shot, I just go to a zone. As you can tell, no longer bagging the Melita. I got the Melita. I was in on the Melita hype. It's a great disc, and it may make its way back into my bag, especially if I have a few rounds where the Buzz and I just don't agree. I'll probably put the Melita back in the bag because they fly pretty much the same. Pretty much the same. And I'm sorry, I hate to break people's hearts. They fly very, very similar. Look at these two shots back to back. I threw the Melita and the Buzz back to back, and I got the same exact flights going down a hill on like a 330 shot. So after seeing that, the Melita and the Buzz, they fly very similar for me. It's probably because this Buzz is slightly beat in, and I understand that. I know the Buzz is -1.1, isn't 100% true out of the box. It is for some Buzzes, not for all Buzzes. The Melita is a little bit more like true to that -1.1, but like they fly the same for me right now. And so to avoid any confusion and any decision-making confusion, I've decided to just take the Melita out for the time being. It's not saying it's out forever. It may come back. It may not come back. A disc that I might have come back, here pretty soon-ish is the MD3. I do love the MD3. That's not a surprise. It's hard because sometimes it overlaps with the Buzz. But like, I think my green one's getting beat in enough to where I either filter in a new Buzz or I filter in an MD3. Which if I do filter in a new Buzz, it's probably going to be this really nice Chris Dickerson Buzz. Which that green one is also a Chris Dickerson Buzz, for fun facts. Moving into my fairway drivers. I am bagging two cicadas. This is my most understable cicada. This is a pretty much further flying version of my green Buzz. That's kind of how I layer in my discs, pretty much as I find discs that fly very similar to that, and I build around it. I don't have a super understable fairway driver, and I also don't have, well, I do have a couple of overstable fairway drivers. After that cicada, I have the Sagara. I'm going back. I have had two Sagaras last year. This was the original Sagara that I bagged. It had a little bit more flip to it than the other one, but it's still some integrity to it. So we're going back to that one. And then FD3. I pretty much use this as a overstable 7-speed. So like where someone would put in, so I don't know what, but like my overstable, but it's an overstable 9-speed. And then I also have the Captain's Raptor. This is like my get out of jail card. Unlike the Zone OS, I still use this on backhand on a regular basis, just for normal everyday shots. And so it's keeping its slot for now. Moving up to my money makers. I joke about that, but it's kind of true. My Onyx collection. This year I'm bagging 5 Onyxes because I have this is my most understable. It's actually an Avenger. This thing is almost a roller disc at this point. It's pretty much a throw it on a steep hyzer and get out of jail, or if I need to like flick something like super gentle, I can kind of get it to do what I want. But the reason why I now am bagging 5 Onyxes is because these two are starting to fly eerily similar. So if you know me, this is the one I throw so much. It's starting to get more and more understable, which is fine. But this guy is starting to fly more like this. And so I'm kind of deciding between the two if I'm going to keep both of them, if I'm going to keep one or the other. But for now, I have both of them. They're my like distance Onyxes pretty much. A step up in stability is I brought back a blue Onyx. This thing is a disc that came in and out of my bag on a pretty regular basis, and so it's something I'm familiar with and something that I am gonna at least start the year with in my bag. It is not saying it's not gonna change, but it's gonna at least start there. And then my overstable Onyx, this is pretty much the Onyx that I use for headwinds or for anything else. It's kind of getting straight, and so it also may change. I have another Onyx that I lost a purple one not that like a while ago, a long time ago, and it was like my favorite Onyx. I have another one of those that I might put back in the bag, and so there's a chance that changes, but we'll see. And then moving up to my distance drivers, I have the Hades, that's my understable one, and then I bag 3 of the Captain's Raptors. This is my like max distance Captain's Raptor. It is slightly more beat in than the other 2 that I have. I can get nice long S-flight out at hyzer flips. Just a really nice Captain's Raptor. Then I have this orange Captain's Raptor, a little bit more stable, flies similar to this into a headwind, and pretty much if I need to put a little bit more flex on something, I can rely to like actually flex this one over and it's gonna come and fight out of it. Whereas the pink one may not fight as hard. It'll still fight, but just not quite as hard. And then I have an overstable Captain's Raptor. This is that Z Jawbreaker, and these came out really overstable. This is just a good run of, I need a flex shot, I need a forehand, I need something that, you know, the other 2 can't do. So that's what's in my bag right now, but as I said, I chased perfection last year. I spent a lot of time building a bag that was quote unquote perfect, which means I left out a lot of discs that I loved. I picked up a TD for the first time last year. This disc is great. This may find its way into my bag this year. I'm not sure, but it's something that is a great disc. You know, the Thrasher. This is one of the Tour Series Thrashers, so I'm thinking it's going to be a little bit more stable than potentially like that Hades is, but also something that is very controllable and probably provides a lot of distance for me. I don't know. We're going to find out. We're going to just not stick to something because that's what we've always done. Obviously, you know, I love the DD3. I love the FD. These are discs that I've taken out of my bag and replaced them with other things. So the thing is like, I'm not going to say, this is it for this year. This is the bag I'm running with. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I can't keep myself from allowing change into my bag if I want to get better. Yes, staying consistent with some molds is important. I'm not going to change every mold in my bag all at once. That just wouldn't be wise to my game. But that being said, I'm going to try to fit some discs into my bag that fit my game a little bit better. I'm a stronger backhand player than I am forehand player. That is not even a shadow of a doubt. And so sometimes there's certain holes where it requires a forehand, and I just don't have that type of forehand. I can throw a forehand up shot every once in a while. I can throw a couple of forehand tee shots, but like, I need certain discs to act a certain way, and I need some of that left to right movement. So I'm going to look for a few more understable discs probably this year, That's why things like the Hades is still in my bag, or the Origin is back in my bag, because those discs, they move from left to right. And so that being said, I'm not going to shy away from making some changes to my bag throughout the year, instead of just holding to whatever I think is the quote-unquote perfect bag for me. The two announcements that I have for you before I wrap this video up are, I picked up 2 sponsorships this offseason. One is I'll be representing Team Ozark Mountain Discs. That's a local retailer here in Missouri. Get all your disc golf needs there. Use my code CR10, 10% off at checkout. You use that code, you get money off. I get a little kickback. It's a great time. The other announcement is I will also be representing Team Disc and Disciples. That one, there was a large pool of people who applied to be a part of that team, and I was graciously selected as one of their members for this year. And I am excited to rep both of these companies. I would not put my name to something if I didn't believe in what they were doing. And so I'm excited to be a part of something bigger than myself when it comes to being with disc golf, and hopefully growing in this time as a great representative for both of these companies. But as always, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to hit like, don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, tell me what disc I'm missing out of my bag this year. Tell me what I should try, or something that, I don't care. Leave a comment. I don't care what it says. Just leave a comment. It's good for the algorithm. But as always, do not forget to walk those fairways with intentions. We'll see you in the next one.